Hey, Nick's already here. Can you hear me, Nick? Let's see. I've got to try to log into my own live feed. We're on a Thursday night, freaking work night. I'm wondering if anybody's going to show up besides you, Nick. We'll know shortly. Well, we got a couple more people just hopped on. I'm going to log on to my own live feed here, guys, so I can read your comments a little easier. Hello, Mr. Black. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna have a 3 beer live feed. I've got 3 beers, so we're gonna have a 3 beer live feed. That's what I'm gonna call it. That's what I should have named it. I should have just went ahead and named it the 3 beer live feed. Kyle Bennett, what's up? Hey, I want to go back to Nick Rusty Ranch's funny story, bro. I just changed shirts and I was trying to put my Rusty Ranch's shirt on because I really like that shirt, but I can't fit my fat ass into it. I've actually put a couple pounds back on over the last couple months. Of course, it was kind of tight to begin with, but I was planning on losing some more weight, so. Kevin Hammock, what's up? What's up? Sandman, what's up, brother man? Not a whole lot. Mr. Black, Delicious, Mike W, what's up, brother? Hey guys, I got a question. I'm out here in the garage, and the hot water heater's going over here because somebody, I guess, is taking a shower. Does anybody hear that? I want to make sure you can hear me okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Hi, y'all. I'm going to give it just a few minutes. What do we got? We've got 16 people on here right now. I'll give it just a few more minutes before we get started. Damn, dude, I'm far behind on your videos. What's up, man? It's Pushrod Garage, guys. You should go check his channel out. Been elbow deep in an engine rebuild and haven't been YouTubing. That's kind of what happened to me a while back, man. I was getting frustrated, but I also wanted to get some stuff done, and brother, it takes twice as long to get stuff done when you're trying to film it. So I went a lot. I put out like 2 videos in a six week period, and yeah, it happens sometimes. Turbo Toy Box, hi all. Mike W, what's up, brother? Got a bug flying around in here, and I'm a freaking bug man. Cam Bams, here you find good, because this hot water heater is going nuts over here. Like I said, where somebody's in the, damn, I still got grease on me. I was just under the Nova, guys. I was trying to change the spark plugs out, and it was a nightmare because of that one header that I keep bitching about. Had to get to that last plug from underneath and contort my arm and do all kinds of crazy shit to get to it. I suck at filming, it takes 3 times as long. Yeah, well, it takes twice as long to get something done when you're filming. And then on top of that, however long you took to do the job, you're going to take at least that long to edit the video. And a lot of people don't realize that, because when you're editing, you're pretty much rewatching all the material that you recorded and then just, hacking away the crap that you don't want in there or whatever. So if I do something, if I film 2 hours worth of footage, it's going to take me another 2 hours at least to edit it. So just so you guys know, that's kind of what goes into these videos. It's a V6. I watched the Camaro vid, and I was thinking spray that 3.1 right before you said, yeah. That's kind of when Ray said let's just see if we can get the 3.1 running first. That's what I was thinking too. Okay, we'll just blow it the fuck up. We appreciate the content. Stop doing research to watch you. Don't ever stop doing research to watch me, man. Like, as bad as I want you guys on here and I want to talk to you guys, if you're in the middle of something, I completely understand. and you should probably keep researching whatever you were researching. You can always go back and watch this later. Cam Bams, I'll be dropping an LS2 and an 81 truck. Yeah, I talked to you earlier. I saw your comment. That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Camaro looked mint in that video. Dude, I was amazed at how nice it was. You know, it don't run, but it will. But yeah, it's in real good shape, guys. I think there's only a couple things wrong with it cosmetically, and you know, the front air dam there, which, you know, that's the first thing for the paint to chip off of on a Camaro or on pretty much any car that part's painted on. And then inside, the dash is cracked. The driver's side seat has a couple small tears in it, but they're right on the seam. So I could probably just take some gray thread and stitch that back together, and you'd barely be able to tell it. And then there's a little corner broken off of the shifter console, which I'm planning on putting a mega shifter in it anyway, which will come with that new console plate. So that's not a big deal either. And then it just needs to be cleaned up. I mean, seriously, the interior, it's just like a little dirty, but it should clean up nice, which is kind of messed up because that's not really what I was looking for. I mean, I was looking for a shit box, and I ended up with something that I think is really nice. You're going to start growing a mullet. No, Corbin. Wait, is this Dustin, or is this Dustin's son, or is this Dustin on Dustin's son's YouTube profile? No, I'm not. My mullet days are over, man. But I will admit, back when I was in like elementary school, I think it was, I did have a mullet. I will admit to it. Let's see here. I had a Fiero GT, and it took 100 shot. Man, just about honestly, just about anything will take 100 shot. I had a Honda Accord years ago, and you know, is the F22, the 2.2 liter. But it had over 200,000 miles, and I sprayed 100 shot on that thing for what, 25,000 more miles, and finally at like 225,000 miles, a rod started knocking. But yeah, you can spray 100 shot. Like, don't be scared. Don't be scared, man. You can spray on just about anything. My rule, if you guys care to know, like my rule of thumb with nitrous is, and if you follow this, generally you'll be safe. Is I never spray more than 50%. Well, I don't say I never, but my rule, although I have broken it a few times, is try not to spray more than 50%. So like if your engine makes 200 horsepower and it's a stock engine, don't spray over 100 shot. If your engine's stock and it makes 300 horsepower, don't spray under or over 150 shot. And like I said, guys, I've broken my own rule and got away with it a lot of times, but generally that's a pretty safe way to go about it. But you know, there's a limit where you got to draw the line. Like, you know, if you go out and buy a new ZL1 Camaro that's 650 horsepower, you probably shouldn't spray a 325 shot on it, but you could try. I would recommend using a progressive controller if you do. All right. Yeah, you're pretty entertaining. That, man, it's funny you say that, because I don't think of myself as that entertaining. Like, I really don't. I never thought that anybody would watch my videos just to see me. I always figured it would just be like, you know, watching the videos to learn something, or to say, hey, look at this ass clown. Look at this dumbass using used head gaskets and shit, like everybody else now. I just tuned into the new project car video minutes ago, and the live feed notification popped up. Stop what I'm doing. But as a 6, it never really ran. Dustin, laugh out loud. My son's channel was logged on. I didn't get the notification. I figured that was you. I was like, because I've seen pictures of your son. I'm like, I don't think he's really old enough to be you know, using that kind of sarcasm. Well, hell, I don't know though. Mike W. Doing budget build on my C5, so going with speed engineering headers with Borla X pipe after watching your video. Yeah, that's what's on mine. Mine already had the Borla uh, axle back on it when I bought it, but you know, if you wanted to, like, there's an eBay system for like $300 an axle back, and it's like a clone of the Borla. And since the Borla system, I went through this in one of my videos, but since the Borla system is like basically just a straight through muffler with two curves in the system, I mean, I would say the eBay system would flow just as well because it's just a straight through muffler. It's almost a perfect clone, just the tips are different. But but yeah, I really recommend the Speed Engineering headers on the C5. Just make sure you get those other clamps that I was talking about, because the ones that come with it will leak. They will leak. As a matter of fact, the clamps that came with the Borla catback were leaking. I had to go back and tighten them down, and I'm actually thinking about buying some of the wider clamps like I bought for my X pipe and putting them on the Borla system, because even the Borla clamps were junk, man. All those clamp together systems end up leaking if you don't do something. Let's see here. Pics of the mullet. I don't have any pictures. I'd have to go 80 miles south to my mom's house and be like, hey, Mom, these subscribers on my YouTube channel want to see some embarrassing pictures of me in a mullet. Thanks for the sub at Rusty Wrenches. Nick, did you done go subscribe to Pushrod Garage? It's pretty cool. Pushrod, you are the one that's got the 240, right? Because that you put the small block Chevy in and stuff. Because that was pretty cool. I really, that reminded me of back in the day. Because like we used to put, well, shit, man. You know, the small block Chevy back then was like the LS is now. I mean, we used to put them in everything: Mustangs, RX-7s. We just small block Chevy the world. Now it's LS swap the world. Let's see, Dustin. My son was excited you did say his name. Well, that's cool, man. What do you think of the new Holley Terminator X? Yeah, that's a good one. I think, depending on your setup, it is a damn good option now. It's probably, if you're doing anything other than a stock swap, or maybe a cam swap, like if you're doing any kind of forced induction or anything, and you got your engine and you don't have, you know, it didn't come with the PCM or anything, you know, you just bought a long block or whatever, that's the way to go. It just is. I would like to use that now on the new project that is still as of yet unnamed, although you guys gave some really interesting potential names for it. I would like to use the Terminator X, but it depends on what and I will eventually. Eventually it'll have the Terminator X, but it's going to kind of depend on what kind of deal I get on an engine, because if I get an engine and, well, I mean, well, you guys can't see it, they're buried. I've got a couple PCMs back here already. But if the engine I have comes with a harness and stuff, I might initially just rework the harness myself and start off with a, you know, stock PCM, and then later on go to the Terminator X. But I mean, if I get a good deal on the Terminator X, like maybe some kind of like partial sponsorship type thing or something, I would just skip right to it. I think it's a cool system. I mean, it does everything. It does everything that you can do with the stock PCM and more. And when you start looking at buying all the additional, like a wideband, a boost controller, or if you're a Nitrous guy, like I usually am, a progressive controller and stuff, it doesn't make sense to use the stock PCM anymore. It really doesn't. And if you've noticed, if you're on Facebook, on any of these Facebook LS groups, people are selling stock PCMs and like PSI harnesses and shit left and right. Like every day I get on there and I find like 5 PCMs and harnesses for sale because everybody's going to this Terminator now. I mean, the market's the bottom's going to fall out of the market on stock PCMs. I can see that it's happening already. They're not worth shit anymore. You had guys on eBay that were selling stock PCMs for like $75, and they've already marked them down to like 40 and 50 now. And that's flashed, like already with a standalone tune on it. I mean, the bottom's already falling out, guys. That was a long, drug out answer, wasn't it? But yeah, bottom line, I like it. I think it's a good system, and I'd like to have one. It's just going to be about, money. 5K launch and dump clutch, spraying it out the hole. Hell yeah. I rock 100 shot on my bicycle. That's the funny thing about nitrous, man. It makes your car go really fast, and it makes you go really slow. If you ever been to the dentist, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, brother, thanks for all the vids. It helped me out a ton. My 74 C10 is finally turbo and done. Let the haters hate and keep doing your thing. Thank you, Isaac. I'll do that. Cliff Smith, what's up? Hey, brother. Long time no hear from. Cliff actually just got in touch with me the other day. I actually went to school, all through elementary school and high school and everything with Cliff there. He still lives down there by my mom where we grew up, I think. Thanks for the sub at Rusty Wrenches. Okay, I'm back to here now. When you getting back to the C5? Real soon, because like I said in the last video, I really don't have the funds to start on the Camaro yet. Plus, we kind of want to play with the 3.1 and see if we can get it running. But I've got a pile of parts over here for the C5. So we're taking the Nova day after tomorrow, Saturday. We're taking it to get exhaust run on it. And I've actually got the engine and everything together in the Nova. I'll show you guys that here in just a minute if you want. But yeah, I mean, the Nova's almost ready to rock, guys. So as soon as it's out of the garage, the Corvette comes right back in. And we'll go ahead, and I've got a few things I'm going to put on it. We've got the shift kit I need to put in it too. I think we might actually do that at Ray's. But yeah, we'll be back on the C5 very, very soon. Maybe as soon as next week. Just starting to get into this LS Turbo movement. It's fun, Richard. Terminator X is awesome. I agree. I'm using Speed Engineering shorties on my C10. Thinking about using their X pipe as well. Yeah, and Nick, Rusty Wrenches is Nick. I've explained this before. Like I've used Speed Engineering headers on all my own projects and several of other people's now, and I really like them except for these Nova headers. But you guys, well, those of you who pay attention know what the deal was with that. But it's a good product. I mean, it's Chinese. They're Chinese headers, but they're a really good product for the price, guys. You can't really beat them. Terminator X will run 7 soon on Ruby at old Cleater's shop. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. I wish I had the money he had. That's a good. I love Cletus McFarland's channel though. I watch it all the time, guys. I was actually watching it just a little while, or listening to it while I was doing the new plugs on the Nova here. I had it playing in the background. For $139 for an X pipe and some mandrel is cheap. If it craps out, not out a lot. That's true. My LS1 is done, or is done for in my C5. I'm debating throwing a short block LQ9 in or have an L33 rebuilt. K-Tech CNC work $499 on 799 heads. Cam is a 228. So you got that sloppy stage 2 cam. What everybody calls a sloppy stage 2 is what it looks like. I just go for the LQ9 or LQ4, either one. I mean, you're going to have like a half a point more compression with the LQ9 pistons. And guys, yeah, just so you know, like An LQ9 has the exact same rods and pistons as a LS2. So the only difference really is the block and the heads. Well, the block and the short block. The only difference is the iron block versus aluminum. But yeah, they use the same crank, same pistons, same rods. Oh Lord, JDO boosting. I got a question. Okay, I tell you what, Josh. If you got a question, first I'm going to tell everybody who you are, guys. JDO Boostin is one of the owners of English Mountain Raceway. So shoot away, Josh. Shoot that question out, brother. Uh, I'm in on a partial sponsorship too for the deal. Yeah, I hear you, man. Like seriously, I don't know how to reach out to companies. I really don't. I need to find somebody who really knows how how to go about doing that, talking to companies and applying for sponsorship or I'm not asking for free parts, but I mean even if I could get like 10-15% off of certain items, that would be awesome. Um, I'm getting ready to list my stock PCM and harness. Yeah, Brent. Yeah, everybody else is. Might as well. Hell, I might just keep like one here in case one of the other vehicles that I've swapped already craps out and I need another PCM. Although I've never seen a modern PCM take a dump, but I might just keep one, like sell all my other PCMs I have back here for like 20 bucks. I don't know. As long as you don't need OBD2 for inspection. Yeah, that's one drawback to the Terminator X is if I mean I'm not sure. See, I live in Tennessee, guys. We don't have emissions. I don't have to worry about any of that. But I guess if you live in like California or somewhere like that, it might be an issue. I don't know how the whole emissions thing works, but I would say that would be a definite problem with the Terminator X system. Um, Want to do a 6.0 turbo with sloppy stage 2. What budget turbo would you recommend? It all depends on your goals, man. I mean, if you go watch Sloppy Mechanics, I mean, he's pretty much proven you can make over 600 horsepower on a 78, 75. I mean, if you're actually wanting to race the damn thing, then I would go at least with a 78 millimeter, possibly bigger. And VS racing is the go-to nowadays for Chinese turbos. But if you're not worried about racing, you could go smaller. You want something that's just going to light off real fast, go for like a 70 millimeter or something, something smaller. Terminator is wicked. Thanks, Mr. Black. And I just hit the scroll up button. Shit. Okay. I'm sure you did a video on it, but how did those Felpro head gaskets work out on the Nova? I did not do a video on it. I started to, and I was like, I just want to get this done. So we got it. It worked out great, guys. Like I took the Felpro gaskets, I sprayed them with copper seal like I usually do, and like I should have done on the first set. And yeah, it was great. We fired it right up. It was running good. We had a little miss, and that's why I just changed the plugs. But I think what was going on with it, because it didn't start missing till it warmed up, and it started running really rich. And I think what's going on is where there's no exhaust on the car, and the O2 sensors are right at the back of those speed engineering headers. They're being exposed to air, and I think it was once it went into closed loop, it was causing it to dump a bunch of fuel because they were reading lean because of their location. So every plug I pulled out was just black with soot. I mean, it was running stupid rich. So that might have been what the miss was the whole time, is the plugs just carbon fouling from being so rich. Let's see here. Want to do 500 plus horsepower, but work my way up into the boost without doing a lot of turbo sweat. Yeah, I'd just get a 78, 75 then, man. I mean, that's pretty much the go-to for a 500 horsepower goal. Anything between 500 and maybe a little over 600, that's the go-to. All right, here we go. JDO boosting. How's it going to feel when I gap that ass? Also, wonder what a white strip would look like on the Z. I will never ever know what it feels like for you to gap me, Josh. Never. And the reason I won't know is because you are the only person I know that takes longer to build a project car than I do. Damn, owning a drag strip. Now that is a dream job. Josh might beg to differ with you, man, because he's got it rough. He's got it rough a lot of the times. I mean, it's not all rainbows and unicorn farts. Richard Scarlett, cool, thank you. Let's see, here we go, Josh. My LS versus your LS, and loser has to put in a YouTube video that you were my daddy. We might just make that bet, man. See, you need to print up some Bad Luck Garage T-shirts for folks to wear at the track. I mean, they're available on the website, man. If you want a Bad Luck Garage T-shirt, you can click the merchandise link in the description of any of my videos, and it'll take you to my Teespring store, and you can buy T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, whatever. I wouldn't mind printing some up to take to the track with me, but the whole reason I did Teespring is so I don't really have to handle the merchandise. Of course, the downside is I don't make much money off of it either. I mean, my profit's only like $4 a T-shirt or $5 a T-shirt, something like that. I don't make much off of it, but yeah, guys, if you want one, they're there. I mean, anytime. It usually takes about 2 weeks to get it because they print to order. So, just so you know. Dwayne Whitaker just got here. What's up, fellas? LNS Customs. That's Kurt. Oh no. Josh, why is it I have to approve every comment you make? Okay, let's see here. What do you say this time? It will be my open video on my channel, you saying I'm your daddy. Oh, this shit's getting real now, huh? Man, I'll gap you in my avalanche. What are you talking about? And if I can't, you better not slow down at the end of the track because I'm just going to run the fuck over the top of you. Lowbuck LS. Hey, how's it going, brother? That's another channel you should check out, guys. Lowbuck LS. And JDO Boost and Josh down there. Check out his channel, too. He plays a lot of games. But he's got some racing videos and stuff on there, too, from English Mountain, from his drag strip. Wait a minute. I'm asking advice from a YouTube channel named Bad Luck Garage. Yeah, you might want to think that through a little bit. Everything goes wrong over here. Okay, guys, let me touch on some stuff. I want to kind of go over because just some of the comments that I've received, like on the last few videos and stuff like that. I want to explain some things. Like the guy was asking about the Felpro gaskets earlier, and I took a lot of flack for the Chinese head gaskets that I originally used on that engine. But here's what I want to explain, guys. I have never used those Chinese head gaskets before. And Ray did not pay for the new head gaskets. I paid for them. I want to make that clear because when Ray bought this engine, he bought a running engine from me. So when the China head gaskets I had put on it failed, I redid that and I bought the new gaskets, the Felpros, out of my own money. He didn't pay for that, because that wouldn't have been right. And anybody whose vehicle I would have worked, anybody else's vehicle, Ray knew what I was buying. But, anybody else, if they would have said, no, man, I don't want those gaskets on my car, I wouldn't ever put them on in the first place. That's my point. But Ray, he's like, yeah, try them, and I wanted to try them because I never used them, and they were like half the price of name brand. So, I like to try different parts, and kind of the point of trying them is so you guys know what you can get away with, what you can't. It's not just, the point is, it's not just about me fucking up or succeeding. It's about you fucking up or succeeding. Well, if you see me do something and I did everything by the book when I put those on, and they still failed, then that just saves you the next time you're on eBay and you're looking for head gaskets, and you scroll through and you see those Chinese head gaskets for $40 for 2 of them, and you're thinking, hey, I wonder if those work. Well, guess what? I just saved you a whole lot of fucking headache, and that was kind of the point, you know. It's a failure, but it's a success at the same time, because we learned we don't want to fuck with those head gaskets. It's just like the 2-stage boost controller I used a while back, and initially it worked great, but just a month later it failed, and I made the follow-up video, you know. So, and I still get people asking on the original video all the time, hey man, you know, this looks like a great deal, and I'm like, watch the link, click the link to the follow-up video, because I mean, that's why I do a lot of the stuff I do, guys. It's not just to see if I can get away with it, but if it works for me, then it could work for you. If it doesn't work for me and I did everything by the book, then there's almost 100% chance it's not going to work for you. So I don't know. I just hope you guys understand that. Like, I don't look at that as a failure, and that's why I didn't really freak out bad when they started dumping coolant. Because initially I was like, oh man, this sucks. I got to tear these heads back off. And then I thought to myself, well, you know what? It's really not a fail. It's a win, because I've got 8,000 some odd people that just saw this video, and now they know not to waste their time and money on these gaskets. So, you know, that's kind of the way I try to look at things. Sometimes I still freak out, but I try to look at it positively if I can. If you get Gap, you have to post mullet pics. Fuck it, I'm buying a mullet wig, because you ain't gonna let up. I'm just gonna buy me a mullet wig. JDO boosting. You have to approve my comments. The last, not that one, but the last 3 comments, it made me approve it. And I don't know why. It's like there were no curse words or anything in it. It was weird. What are some more mods you're considering doing to your C5? For now, you know, we're right there at our 10-second goal, or 6-second, 1/8 mile goal with the C5. I'm hoping that the shift kit, and keep in mind, I still haven't finished tuning it. Like, I haven't touched the fueling at all. I've just played with the timing a little bit, but I'm hoping between the shift kit and maybe me tuning it, we're going to hit our goal. And if we do, then the C5 probably isn't going to get a whole lot more done to it for a while. Eventually, I'd like to build a stroker for it and all that, but now I've got the Camaro coming in, so pretty much what's going to happen is, as soon as we hit our goal in the C5, I'm going to start on the Camaro. And I may do little things here and there to the C5 still, but you know, my focus is mainly going to be the Camaro, and I'll be racing the C5 still. I mean, because until the Camaro is done, that's the only thing I have to race. So I'll be taking it to the track. There'll be track videos. We're probably going to take the Nova to the track a few times, maybe more. You know, we're going to play with it. It's just going to be an ongoing thing, man. I mean, I've got so many freaking cars that I'm working on right now, and so little time, and, you know, so little money. What else do we got here? God, you guys are loading me up. I'm jealous of that cold beer. I'm at work, damn it. Oh yeah, it's so good. It's actually not. Beer's kind of shitty. Yes, it is Yingling. I'm going to have to stick with HP tuners because I already own it and can't afford no Holly system right now, and hopefully get some help tuning. Hint, hint. I'll help where I can, Dustin. And that's another thing, guys, when you're considering going with the Terminator X, that's a huge thing there, is if you already have HP tuners, you know, that kind of starts bringing you back to the stock ECM or PCM side. Which, I mean, I've got HP tuners, and at this point I've got all Gen 3s unlocked. Like, I don't even have to pay for credits anymore, guys. I've got everything unlocked, and I'm still wanting to go to the Holly setup. So, let's see here. Coming in to get the Gap. You got Gap on the brain, Josh. How did the trailer work picking up the new It worked great. And I think I'm going to do a video on the trailer because I've not done it yet. And I told the guy I bought it from that I would do a video and let everybody know who he was and everything, because it's a great deal on those car haulers. And then I went to Harbor Freight, Ray and I did, and bought a 5,000 pound ATV winch. And I'm telling you right now, it snatched that Camaro right up on that trailer like no problem. And we were pulling it uphill too, because the guy's driveway was like this. So yeah, it didn't have any problem at all. The trailer pulls great, and I, I'm not used to pulling a trailer. I mean, I'm just not, especially one that big. I mean, I pulled like little generator trailers and stuff in the Army with Humvees, but nothing like a car hauler. And hell, even I can do it. So easy, a bad luck garage guy can do it. Appreciate all the videos and expertise. I'll reach out when I get the nitrous plate kit for some advice as needed, or if needed. That's cool, and watch the videos, man, because I'm going to be putting a plate kit on the new project once we put the 307 in. I've got a carbureted NX kit over here that I'll be throwing on it, so I might do a little video on that, because I did a video showing you guys how to hook up a fuel injected nitrous kit, either a ZEX or a regular solenoid kit. So I might just do another video showing you how to hook up like a basic plate carburetor kit. Let's see here. That's what I'm thinking. Then maybe turn it up for test and tune. I must have missed something somewhere. I hear you. I got too many projects as well. Track events, STI 300Z, and my bike. Yeah, I know, Josh. You're buried, brother. That's what I was saying. I don't know if you heard me, if you were typing a while ago, but somebody said owning the drag strip's the dream job. And I was like, after talking to Josh, I don't know. Because you seem pretty stressed out and busy as hell a lot. How's the gauges in the Nova working out? They're working great, man. Now, I haven't put them in. I was going to do that tonight, but I wanted to do this live feed. So I cut working on the Nova short once I got the engine back together, got the spark plugs in and everything. The only issue I'm having with the gauges is for some reason the voltometer is not reading correctly. Like everything else looks like it's working like it should. Tacks work and everything. But the voltometer is like it's only registering 8 to 10 volts. But when I check the voltage back here at the battery, obviously it's like 12 or more, depending on if it's running or not. So I got to check the wiring back there on the back of the gauges and see what's up. But that shouldn't take long, so I'm going to try to do that right after work tomorrow. And then finish putting the dash back together. I might need to road trip down to Tennessee to pick one of those up. Everyone around here thinks their clapped out POS trailer is worth $3K. And that's the problem I was having, brother. People were trying to sell used 18-foot trailers for like $2,500 and shit. And I'm like, here's this guy selling brand new 18-footers for like $1,900. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. So that's what I ended up getting at. Like, I looked for months for a used one, and people were freaking ignorant with their trailers. I'm like, how are you going to sell a trailer for $2,500 that I can buy for less than $2,000 brand new? And your shit's got bald tires and damn electric brakes wore out, and it's, rusted all the shit. People are stupid. Shitbox carbureted plate kit video would be cool. Mike W, thanks. Skylar, how is my car doing? That's my son, guys. He wants that Camaro. You probably saw him in the last video. He wants that Camaro. And depending on what's going on with the engine that's in it, I don't know, guys. Like, I've seriously thought there's another one just like it, but not in quite as good a shape for the same price. And I don't know. I really want to build that one, though. It's a nice car. What is the DR part of the DR Nova for? When I was growing up, that meant direct to retail. It's my Uncle Ray's name. It's his initials. Daryl Ray is his name. Daryl Ray Bell. So Dr. Nova. I named it that. I just thought it would be a cool name because it looks like Dr. Nova. I went over that in one of the. If you look back on in the Dr. Nova playlist, I think it's one of the first two videos when I named it that. I love my trailer. Yeah, I love mine too. Good God, I got freaking mayflies flying in and dying on my laptop. Dr. Uncle's initials. Somebody's been watching all the videos. All right, guys. Well, it seems like we've calmed down, which is crazy because there's a bunch of you in there. If you guys got questions, shoot. If not, you're just gonna sit here and watch me chug beer. Or not chug, really. Was it 9:42? Damn, have we been at this for 45 minutes already? I don't know what it is, but every time I get on here with you guys, time just like flies by. What turbo you putting on the Camaro? I am debating either a pair of 66s or like a single 88 or 90 millimeter. I've not decided yet, and honestly, that part of it is way down the road because I don't even have the funds for the LS swap yet, let alone buying the turbos. But I can't decide if I want to do twins or just a big single. But it's not going to be a little 78, 75 like we did on the truck. I mean, I'm going to go big this time when I do it. Of course, this Camaro is it's going to be a whole different animal than what I wanted to make the truck. When I turboed the truck, I was trying to make a daily driver, and that was part of my frustration. To be honest, guys, I never wanted to turbo the truck. It just the whole turbo thing kind of fell in my lap, and so I just went with it, and I wanted to try something new. I've always been a nitrous guy. Ever since I was a teenager, I was a nitrous guy. So I'd never really messed with turbos, and it didn't turn out well for me. But like I said, I think it's because I was trying to make it a reliable daily driver. And aftermarket turbo setups, especially custom setups, usually don't do well. I mean, there's a difference between a car you can drive on the street and a true daily driver. And a lot of people don't get that, don't realize that. People are like, "Oh, I got a turbo car, and it's a street car." I'm like, yeah, there's a big difference between a street car and an actual, get you to work every day, reliably daily driver. And from what I've seen and what I've experienced, there are not a whole lot of super reliable, like get you to work actual daily driver aftermarket turbo cars out there, guys. There's a ton of, I drive it to work every now and then cars, but not a whole lot of actual daily drivers. At least not without sinking a shit ton of money into it. Let's see, do you still have the template for the gauge cluster? We never made a template. And, I think I talked about that in that gauge video. I wish we would have made a template for it, but we didn't. Let's see here. $1,280 for it. Oh, this is my son. You still trying to buy the car?
I only need to mow the yard 6 more times, and I have the money that you paid for the car.
You hearing this shit, guys? Like he is seriously trying to buy that Camaro from me. Oh Lord. I'll be honest. I wouldn't. I think it would be cool because like when I was in high school, well, I don't know if Cliff was paying attention, if he's still on here, but I had a white 82 Z28. It was a car I drove when I was in high school. I think it'd be kind of cool if my son did have like the same car I had. Shitbox, I missed a bunch of your videos. The last 2.5 months were insane for me. Got to get caught up. Well, Shitbox, the good news is I didn't make a whole lot of videos over the last 2.5 months. I think I only made maybe 5 videos in that time period. So you really didn't miss a lot because that's when I was going through my whole, I need to just stop recording and get some shit done phase because I was way behind on the Nova. Drag racing, big single, street, smaller twins. Yeah, it's kind of my thinking too. I mean, I'm really leaning towards a like a 88 or 90 millimeter. Love your merch. Buying a hoodie right now. I appreciate it, brother. You're buying a hoodie? Damn, where do you live? Because it's hot that like I'm sweating out here. Buying a hoodie. Yeah, I appreciate that. Just make sure you like you do realize there's different ones. Like there's the wide open TUC God hoodie, and then there's just the regular Bad Luck Garage hoodie. Has the Bad Luck Garage logo on the chest, and then has the huge Bad Luck Garage logo on the back. And then there's the Build, Break, Fix, Repeat. I don't know if I made that in a hoodie or not. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thumbs up, supporting the channel there. Dwayne Whitaker, smart kid. Oh, what do you think about the MSD two-step launch control? I mean, it works. It's two-step. You know, that's another feature too of the Terminator X. That's one more thing you don't have to buy, is a two-step. Everyone has a street car and drive all the way to California. I hear that all the time. Yeah, me too, Josh. It's especially on the internet. Yeah, my car makes 1,500 horsepower, and I drive that some bitch to Hawaii. Shitbox, when you coming down? Richard Scarlett. Have you given thought about doing a video on how to select a turbo? As in what size on compression and exhaust side, or compressor and exhaust side, and when they will start spoiling or lagging. Here is a moment of honesty, Richard, and I've said this a lot in my videos, but I'm not a turbo guru. As a matter of fact, the turbo truck is the only turbo vehicle I have built up until now. I'm the nitrous guy. You know, that's what I always, and I'm not even a nitrous guru at that, but I've been playing with it for over 20 years. So, you know, I know enough to get by. But when it comes to selecting turbos for certain applications, generally I say call somebody who knows. Call the manufacturer. If you want, you know, a precision turbo, call Precision Turbo. They will walk you through it. If you want a VS Racing turbo, call Varin. You know, Varin, anytime I have ever emailed Varin, and, you know, he doesn't know me from a freaking hole in the ground, but anytime I've ever emailed Varin at VS Racing, he's always been real good about answering all my questions, getting back with me. He will recommend, and he's got quite an extensive list of turbos on his website now, and, you know, he will recommend something good for your setup, man. But I personally, like reading compressor maps, all that, I know nothing about that. That's something where I've always, you know, I've always just called or emailed and been like, here's my setup, here's what I want it to do, which one do I need? I mean, that's just how I roll, man. Like I'm never gonna try to act like I'm something I'm not. And one thing I'm not is like a turbo guru. I built a turbo truck. Honestly, it really didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And what research I did, I mean, you know, as far as flow, I mean, I know enough to get by, but that's pretty much it. I'm not an expert on turbos. That's the bottom line. I'll help you where I can, but if, you know, you get into like more technical aspects of, you know, like compressor specs, things like that, I'm always going to say call someone who knows more than me, because I don't want to steer you wrong. The MSD two-step is better than the Lingenfelter two-step. A lot of guys have issues with the Lingenfelter two-step being inconsistent. Glad you're giving turbos another try. Low boost is your friend. No, we're going high boost, and I want to make that clear too. Like the whole issue with my truck, it had nothing to do with boost levels or anything like that. It had to do with trying to make it something that it wasn't. You know, I wanted a daily driver, and I had one. That's the shittiest part about that truck, guys, is I had the 6.0 in it. It was running great. Had the nitrous on it. It was doing great on the nitrous. I was happy with it. And then I decided to go turbo, and everything went to shit. It was all downhill from there. But this time I'm actually trying to build a race car. So if the damn thing acts up, fucks up, or whatever, and breaks down on me, I'm not going to be so stressed about it because I've got other stuff to drive. I've got the C5 I can race. We got the DR Nova that I'm sure Ray wouldn't mind letting me race. I mean, this time around with this turbo project, it's going to be like a back burner project. So it's going to be like my attitude towards it is going to be, if it's running good, it's running good. If it's not, oh fucking well, it can sit here till it changes its freaking attitude. That's you just sit in the corner, little Camaro, till your fucking attitude changes. Yeah, I'll just treat it like one of my kids. Your kit will probably just be a starter kit for me. Probably upgrade to twins and some engine with some forged internals after I figure all this out. Honestly, Dustin, that kit that you bought off me, I mean, it ought to be good for some pretty decent horsepower, especially if you step up to a bigger turbo down the line. But you ought to still be able to use everything else there. Here's a nitrous question. How much nitrous can I stuff down my stock 350? We're going to find out. Mr. Brody, we're going to find out. Well, we're going to find out on a 307, but it's the same concept. I've sprayed 250 shots on a stock 350. I only did that once, but it held it. But I mean, I used to spray on the regular like 175 shots on a 350, street cars, and 305s. I sprayed 175 shots on 305s all the time. They held it. If the engine's in good shape and you back off your timing the way you should and you make sure it's got plenty of fuel. China's an expensive call and a language barrier. You don't have to call China, man. You don't have to call China. Just call or email Varen. Varen Singh. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but just go to VS Racing, or now it's not VS Racing. It's like turboperformance.com or something. But all his contact info's there, man. And he speaks English. He's in America. He sells Chinese turbos, but he's in America. Lee Adams, how's your HP tuner skills? They're just good enough to get me in trouble, man. Hey, sexy. Oh, there's my wife. Who you calling sexy? I know you ain't talking to my fat ass. C and B. Yeah, she should be out here with me, guys. Like that last live feed. She should be out here with me, shouldn't she? We recently, just so you guys know, we recently had a death in the family. So we're actually going to have to go out of state next week to attend the funeral. So, that's definitely going to affect how many videos I get out next week. Because we're going to be out of state for a day or two. Yeah, I saw where the MSD two-step helped automatic a lot. Left myself attitude adjustment. Man, this channel, thanks. I'll look at Garrett also. All right. Colder plugs are your friend with nitrous. Yeah. I always just go ahead and skip and go 2 steps down. Like on the LS engine, I use the same plugs for turbo or nitrous, and that's the BR7s. Now, if I was running something stupid like a 300 shot or bigger, I would probably go to a BR8, or possibly even colder. But I run the BR7s on all my LSs that I run nitrous on. I don't run real big shots though, guys. I mean, I'm running like on the Corvette, I'm running like a 175 shot. It's really not that big a deal. But still, I've got BR7s in the Corvette. And don't let people tell you to. People say all the time, you don't want to put those, they'll make it run like shit when you're not on the bottle. No, they don't. It's a modern vehicle, guys. You've got individual coils for each plug. Believe me, even with BR7s, that spark is plenty hot enough to light those BR7s. It's not going to make it run rich down. Like a lot of stuff is translated over from the carb world, guys. Like back in the day on carbureted engines, when you would drop two heat ranges on the spark plugs, it would cause it to run rich down low. The spark just wasn't hot enough, and you would have to rejet your carburetor to make up for the plugs, that you just went down on. It's not like that on a fuel injected engine, guys. I mean, not a modern like a LS. Hell, you put BR8s in the son bitch, you can't even tell the difference. And I hear people all the time. They're like, "Well, I put BR7s in my LS1 and it ran like shit." Well, then you probably fucked the plugs up putting them in. I mean, you did something wrong, because I've put them in several LS engines now. I mean, I've put them in LQ4s, LQ9s, LS2s, LS1s, and 5.3s, and I have never been able to tell the difference after putting the BR7s in an LS engine. So if you can, then, I'm sorry for you. You're just going to have to cry about it, but turbosforless.com. Is that his new website? Is that Varen's new website that used to be VR Racing? I don't remember. Like, I've not been there in a while. It's been real, guys. Have a great night. I'm pumped to catch up on these videos. Good night. Good night, Pushrod. Lee Adams. I have the BR7 plugs in mine, and it does just fine. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. I've never had any issues with them. I run it because I put nitrous on everything. Everything I buy ends up with nitrous on it at some point or other. The exception would be Tracy's car, her Camaro, her 2011. She will not let me put it on there. But yeah, I've never had an issue running BR7s. Anyone old enough to get that reference? BR549. No. I mean, is that a spark plug number? I don't. It looks familiar, but I can't remember. I don't know. Big Block Smoke, OG correct. VS's new site. I just looked at it. Yeah, Turbos for Less. I knew it was like Turbo something. Hee-haw, bitches. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Yeehaw even. Alright, I have no clue what you guys are talking about right now. Wow. Well, we just went dead. We got 26 people on here. You guys all out of questions? I'm just reading you guys. Yeah, I know Hee Haw was a TV show, but I'm not understanding the how we got on that. I remember Hee Haw. You searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. Yeah, I remember Hee Haw. Dreaming about a VS Billet 88 for my 6.0. They had, I don't remember how long ago it was, but they had the Billet, I think it was the Billet 80 on sale for like less than $500 on the VS Racing Billet 80. It was like $400 and something dollars. I saw that the other day and I was like, man, it's a little bit smaller than what I'm planning on, but for that price, it's tempting. Who all's still on here? Raise your hand. We lost 4 people. We still got like 22. But I honestly don't know what you guys want me to talk about anymore. I seem to have lost you. Anybody? Bueller? Anyone? Bueller? Well, I'm not going to lie. I got a buzz off one beer. Let me show you, before everybody takes off, I'll go ahead and show you the engine over here. I have to take my camera off the stand. There we go. I think you guys will be able to see, but there we go, guys. There's the Nova. We got the engine together, all the covers on. I do have to do something with the intake for now. There's no filter on it. I've just got the MAF in the end here. But what we're probably going to do is cut it off about right here, have the MAF right here, and then have the filter right after that. But, you know, this was just one of those eBay truck intakes, but I don't know if we're going to be able to use the eBay filter because it's just so big. We might actually go buy a like 6-inch K&N filter or something to put on here. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's it, guys. Engine's in there. You can see all that. Get you back over here. Are we back? I think I lost you guys. Oh, you want me to open some wine? Okay, we're back. Sorry, I accidentally hit the button on my phone there. And I got a bunch of stuff up here. I have no idea what it is. My wife's wanting some wine, so she came out here to open the wine. She don't want to be on the live feed with me, but she wants me to open her wine. It's just wrong. There you go, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
DR Underhood is looking fantastic. Yeah, guys, I'm real happy with the way it turned out. I really am. I'm super happy with it. Tracy! Mr. Black, Mr. Black said hi, Tracy.
Hello.
She's not gonna come out here, guys. Like she's off work and wrecked. Yeah, her hair's all frizzy. Yeah. She don't want to be seen. Oh, the horrors of being a natural curly headed. All right, I had a 91 Camaro LS swap turbo, lots of fun. Ran a 10-1 in it. Yep. What are you doing, Haley? You on the bed?
No.
What is that? Stitch?
Yep.
Stitch pajamas? Alright, on a stock F-body 10 bolt too. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, it's something else, guys, about the Camaro. It was like, I was happy and sad all at the same time. It actually has the perfect, it's got a 323 rear end in it, which is perfect for turbo. You know, perfect for what I wanted to do. But it is, it's an open rear end. It's not limited slip or anything. And, you know, of course, it's that 7.5-inch 10 bolt. So I'm not going to put a bunch of money into it because I know eventually I'm going to destroy it. So what I'm probably going to do is just buy like a $70 mini spool from Summit Racing and put it in there. Just lock the back axles together. That way, when I destroy that rear end, I won't. You know, I'll only have $70 in it. And at that point, we'll look at upgrading to probably a 9-inch or something like that. I've been scared of the extra weight of the iron block in the C5. Heard it messes with weight distribution. It's only 80 pounds, man. Like, that's the difference between an iron block and an aluminum block LS. It's like 80 pounds. I mean, some people will say it's 120 or whatever, but like I've seen videos where the guys actually weighed the two blocks, and it was like an 81 or 82 pound difference, which, I mean, on the C5, it's going to mess with it a little because it's got such a perfect front to rear weight distribution, but the average person like you or me, we're not going to notice that shit. Like, you're really not. I mean, it's 80 pounds, and it's not even like it's at the very nose of the car. I mean, because the engine's sunk back in, you know, it's like a cab forward type design. I mean, it's not like you're putting 80 pounds on the nose of the car. You're putting 80 pounds pretty much, you know, like towards the center of the car almost. It's not that big a deal, man. People do it all the time. I mean, people put LS or iron blocks in them and road race them, and it doesn't hardly fuck with their handling at all. You know, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I thought about the same thing when I first got it because I was like, well, eventually I'm going to build a stroker. Do I want to make it aluminum or do I want? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Iron block holds more boost too. Yes. Think about a 350-pound driver versus a 150-pound driver. That would be way worse. Yeah, that's like me in the vet versus my wife. I weigh like 240 something, and she weighs like a buck 05. LSX block is iron for a reason. Just go with a tube K member, well worth it. That's what I want, and that's why I was. I think I said it. Well, no, I didn't say it in the video, but I was talking about it in the comments. One of you, I think it was William Cordell or Cordell. He was talking. I was talking to him, you know, about sponsors and stuff, and I said I'd like to try to get a sponsorship from like what is it, BMR or UMI? You know, the companies that make K members and tubular K members and tubular torque arms and all that shit for F bodies. I would love to get a sponsorship from one of them to, you know, at least get a discount because I do want to do a tubular K member up front. Like I don't even, yeah, UPR. Like I don't even want to fuck with like, which nothing against them. I mean, you guys know like the LSX Innovation plates, the swap plates. I love those things. I've used them on every swap I've done so far, and they've never failed me. But I would really rather once we go to do the LS swap, after we're done blowing up all the engines I have laying around here, I would really like to just do a tubular K member that's already got, you know, it's already set up for an LS. Now the other thing is, I don't really want to do tubular control arms though, and I've got my reasons for that. And if Josh is still on here, he probably understands why I don't want to get tubular control arms yet. Because at the drag strip, Josh's drag strip sponsors this channel, and at that drag strip, there's certain classes that prohibit tubular control arms. So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm kind of looking at some different classes at the drag strip I normally go to, and I'm going to try to kind of build this car to suit like first like the slower classes, and as I progress I'm going to try to stay within the rules of classes up and up so that I can actually be competitive as I work my way up. And eventually, you know, I'll get to a class, if I've got enough money, eventually I'll get up there to a class where I can have all those parts, and hopefully by then I'll have the money to afford all those parts, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Can you install half-inch head studs in a LS3? I have no clue, man. I've never used head studs. No clue. Not even gonna bullshit you on that, because like I just said, I've never used the head studs on an LS engine. I've never been past that 1,000 horsepower level. Like it's, you know, at this point, it's proven that stock head bolts will hold 1,000 horsepower no problem. You know, you don't really start pushing coolant or anything like that till you get way, you know, you get past that 4-digit number. So nothing I have built up until this point has been anywhere close to that. So I've just never worried about it. 2009 Pontiac G8 GXP is an aluminum 6.2. So half-inch, yeah, I just answered that. I have no clue. Robert, where did you get the vet t-shirt? I like the simple understated. Okay, man, this came from AutoZone. It's one of those like $8.99 shirts. Like some other AutoZones, you go in there and, but it's comfortable and it's real soft too. My wife likes it. But it's one of those, sometimes you'll go into an AutoZone and they'll have like a rack there that's got like Hemi shirts and all that shit. And yeah, they're like $8 or $9. That's where this came from. I didn't like, this is the only Corvette memorabilia type shit I have. Like I have nothing else Corvette, but I just saw it sitting there, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool, and it's $8. Fuck it, I need a T-shirt. I looked up on a Trailblazer SS LS2 that I went to do the same thing with. Take baby steps, hopefully be competitive. Yeah. Well, guys, it's like this. I don't have a lot of money. All right. And a guy actually made a comment on my last video. He was like, this guy says he's not rich, and he's got a Corvette, an Avalanche, a Camaro, and a car hauler. but look at what year those cars are, you know. And that's what I told him too. I said, look, man, I said, you know, we bought the Camaro years ago, and we paid it off a couple years ago. Well, I paid like $370 a month for the Avalanche, and my Corvette is like 20 years old. So, you know, the payments on it are like $240 a month. Like basically nothing in my driveway. Like my daughter a couple years ago bought a brand new Kia, and there was nothing in my driveway that books for more than her Kia. Like just because the car is nice doesn't mean it costs a lot of money, guys. But the fact that I have those car payments and the house payment on this house, and you know, kids to pay for and stuff like that, I mean, that's why I don't have any money. Let's see here. Build a diamond plate filter box with ram air. Nice engine setup. Yeah, I actually did a video about a year, or well, almost 2 years ago. I did a whole like series of videos where I built a custom cold air box for the C10 after I'd done the LS swap on it. It's on the channel there. It's like its own playlist. It's like DIY custom cold air box or something like that. It's like 5 or 6 videos, I think. That was back when I first started this channel, so like all my videos were ridiculously long, and I didn't edit hardly anything, so they were just, oh, they were horrible. Like, if you guys think my videos suck now, go back and watch my videos from 2 years ago. They really suck. But it's because I was trying to cram so much information into the video. I wanted to cover all my bases, because I get on here and I see like somebody will do a video and they'll forget one little piece of information, and there'll be like 50,000 comments for people asking for that one piece of information. So I got it in my head. I was like, when I do my videos, I'm going to include every possible piece of information that I can. But what I failed to realize is that 80% of people who watch YouTube videos don't pay attention. They'll skip through and like watch piece here, piece here, piece here. So even though all the information might be in my video, I'll still get like a bunch of people asking me questions that the answer's in the video. And I always go back and I'm like, hey man, you know, I covered all that in the video. I cannot tell you how many times a day I reply to comments with that phrase. I answered all that in the video. I answered all that in the video. Did you even watch the video? If I'm in a bad mood, I'll say that sometimes. I'll be like, seriously, man, did you even watch the freaking video? Because everything you just asked me is in there. Oh, shit. Just looked at Turbo for Less, and their prices are not budget friendly. They're very budget friendly. Dude, if VS Racing, if you don't think those prices are budget friendly, you may just want to build a nitrous car. That's all I got to say about that. You've got to realize, if you compare, like you look at a VS Racing turbo that's like $700, and you go to buy that same turbo made by Precision or Garrett or somebody like that, that's a $3,000 fucking turbo. Cheaper on eBay or Amazon, it's not the same turbo, and it's not the same quality, and you're not gonna, well, I could go on, but it's a whole different ball game, man. Like the most popular eBay turbo, it's like $165 or something like that. It's that GT45. That thing's good for about 500, maybe 550 horsepower, and that's pretty much the best deal on eBay for a turbo. But it's I could go on and on about a GT45. Like a lot of people, they'll start their budget builds with a GT45, and it takes them all of a couple months, and they'll end up going and buying one of those VS Racing turbos. They'll go to something else, something that makes more power and uses like a standard size exhaust outlet, and it's got a smaller compressor housing because GT45 compressor housing is enormous. But I mean, if you're looking for a $200 or less turbo, then yeah, just get you a GT45 and be happy with 500 horsepower. And a huge honking looking turbo. Like that's a turbo capable of like 500 horsepower. That's the size of a turbo that should be capable of 1,000 or more. Let's see. I bought head studs for my 03 5.3, thinking I'd have them forever for many more builds. Then built my 6 washer list. Now I learned the shorter head bolts. Yeah. Yeah, they switched head bolts in 03 or 04. Richard Scarlett, turbo for less is Varen's side. Yep. Yeah, it used to be VS Racing, now it's turbos for less. I paid $299 for a 7875 from him. Find one cheaper on eBay. Yeah, that is one thing, man, is there are some sellers out there who sell Varen's turbos for cheaper than he does, and they're still his turbos. Like they get them from him, and they barely mark them up at all. So yeah, I guess sometimes you are better off. Like I know he sells, like this guy just said, he sells his 7875, like not the billet but the cast ones for like I think $399 or something like that. But there's a guy on eBay that sells them for like $319, I think. And that's another thing too, guys. Like if you hit up eBay on a like one of their discount days where you can get like 15-20% off, then suddenly that $300 turbo, turned into like a $250 or whatever that would be turbo. So that's something to think about too. That's why I always use eBay for everything else. I mean, I've never ordered a turbo straight from Varen either. I got my last turbo from Hunter at Hunter Tuned because he had just become a dealer for Varen back then when I bought mine, and he was like, I just burned up well, you can't see it, but the little 66 millimeter turbo I have sitting on the shelf behind me. I just toasted it, and I was broke, and I was like, man, I need a turbo. And Hunter's like, I'll hook you up. So yeah, it's another channel. If you guys don't know, Hunter Tuned. That's a cool little channel. He's doing more Honda stuff than anything now, but he does have a turbo LS Mustang that's pretty cool, the Chef Stang. It's fast. I think he's trying to go 8s in it this year. Okay, I guess I need to do like your son and mow some lawns. He mows my lawn. My son charges me $20 to mow my lawn, but at least he's working for money. I'm not just giving it to him. How do the eBay fuel injectors work? Looking at 42 pounders for LQ9. Unless it's like a remanufactured OEM injector, I don't think I would mess with like a Chinese knockoff. I don't think I would. Not on the fuel injectors. I've heard too many horror stories. I don't have any personal experience with them myself, but I've heard too many horror stories about those eBay injectors. Now, there are some guys on there that sell remanufactured OEM injectors. Now, that would, those are usually a pretty good deal. That way you're still getting OEM quality. You're not just getting a knockoff. Shitbox, 800 to 1,000 for a billet wheel turbo is fine with me. Yeah, that's good for like a big billet turbo, like a 88 millimeter billet for like $800. Yeah, that's a hell of a deal. Because like I said a while ago, I mean, you buy that same turbo from Precision Turbo or something, and well, a billet, I mean, you're probably looking at $3,000 to $4,000 for that turbo. Just decap stock truck injectors rather than buy eBay injectors. Yeah, that's kind of where I am too. Well, I've got the videos on decapping, and I showed where I sent them off, and Eric Durr, cleaned and flowed them for me and everything. Great guy. But I don't know, man. There's some pretty cheap injector like the snake eaters and stuff that Matt over at Sloppy Mechanics has been messing with. Uh, I mean, there's some pretty low buck injectors coming on the market now that almost makes it not worth it to even decap anymore. Because if you're going to decap, you need to flow them, guys, because you need to make sure they match up. Because once they're decapped, the flow rates go all over the place. Like usually, you need to decap at least 2 sets and send them to have them flowed. And out of those 16, you can usually get 8 that are close enough together to actually use together. So you're looking at like by the time you decap, like let's say you got the injectors for free, and then you decap them. Well, by the time you send them and have them flowed and cleaned, and they make you a match set of 8, you've got like $150 in them. If you send them to Eric Durr, if you send them to somebody else, you're going to have even more than that in them. So that then it becomes a balancing act because decap truck injectors usually flow around 75 pounds, 75 to 78, somewhere in that range. So it's kind of like an 80-pound injector. So at that point, you need to look at, is there like a better option for $150? I mean, that's the only way I can put it. And a lot of times the answer is no. And a year ago, I was all about the decaps until, some of these companies came on the market like Snake Eater and stuff like that. And then I've got 2 sets of decapped injectors sitting up here, and that'll probably be what I use initially in the new project. But yeah, I mean, if there's too many good injectors on the market. And like once I start pushing it, like the decaps, those things are great for up to, I'm going to say 5, maybe 600 horsepower on regular pump gas. Like once you start going to like E85, then you're going to need bigger injectors. If you go past about 600 on pump gas with meth, then you're going to need bigger injectors. And at that point, if you're planning to go that high, you might as well start looking at the Snake Eaters or something from the get-go and just save your money. Don't even worry about the decaps. Just skip straight to the damn 120-pound Snake Eaters or something like that. If you're planning on ever going to that level. What we got here? I say if you find another car with crappy interior, buy it and give the boy that car. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about. Because like I said, I just found, it's funny, I looked for a Camaro for months and couldn't find one that was what I wanted. And since I bought that one, now all deals are popping up everywhere again. So I told my wife, I said, if I did decide to just give that white one to Skylar and buy another one, I'm buying the other one first before I give that one to him. Because as soon as I give that to him, all the deals will disappear. Promise you. But I don't know. I really like that car myself too. And then there's always, that old thing, like your kid usually wrecks their first car. As a matter of fact, my 17-year-old daughter just wrecked her mom's car not even a month ago. Totaled it. Little Honda Civic. Popped every airbag in that damn thing. But and I'm like, if he wrecked that car, I would cry. If I gave him that car and he totaled it, I'd be like, damn, man. Because it's such a nice car. Low buck out. Okay. I got my Snake Eater Performance 1000cc injectors in the box. Just need that dang stall. How much for the Snake Eaters? Well, there you go, Dustin. Answer them. Would you pay for your 1000cc Snake Eaters? I think they're only like a couple $100. Fastest car I ever had was a beat up 67 289 Cougar. I have no idea what 500 to 900 horsepower feels like though. Well, the fastest car I had was not a car, it was my Hayabusa that I traded in on the Corvette. The fastest car I ever had was probably well, actually, now it's, well, no, because the 78 Corvette I had, it was built pretty good. I mean, I run a 7 flat in it. No, it's an eighth mile, not quarter, guys. But I run a 7 flat, and that was years ago. Like that was back when, God, that was 20 something years ago. So that was back in the day when if you had like a 12-second streetcar, you were considered like really fast. And I had a fucking what was probably a high 10-second streetcar. But yeah, that was back in the day. Nowadays, like a 10-second car isn't really all that. I mean, it's still fun, and it's still a goal to shoot for. I mean, 10 seconds is still fast. I don't care. I mean, I realize there's people out here running 9s, and then driving back home in the same car, but 10-second car is still fun, guys. It's still exhilarating. It'll still throw you back in the seat and make you smile and make your wife shit herself. Tracy won't even ride in the Corvette. Like, I've tried to get her to, I was like, do a video, because she hates acceleration. I was like, do a video. Just get in the car at the track and let me make one pass on the ball. She won't do it. Like, if I reach down and I open the little compartment that the switch panel's in, she just starts smacking at my hand. She's like, hell no. Spent $280, I think, 1,000 cc. $37.99 a piece on Snake Eaters website. Cheaper elsewhere. Yeah. Fastest car I had was a Fox Mustang set up for drag racing that trapped 126-ish. That was 18 years ago. Car made 30 mile per hour on the big end. That's crazy, yeah. See, and the whole time I was growing up, we didn't have like a quarter. There was not a quarter-mile drag strip within like 2 hours of me, and I just all the drag strips around here were eighth mile. Well, I didn't grow up here, but even where I grew up, all the drag strips, the closest one to me, I think, was Crossville, and it was an eighth mile. And so I've got no idea what that Corvette would have ran in a quarter. But I'm sure it wouldn't have trapped 129. That was N8 too, guys. Like, it was running 7 flat, and it was just N8. It was a 355, a 350, like board 60 over. It had ported polished heads, and then RPM intake. Was it a Holly? I think it was a Holly 700 double pumper on it. Wasn't a 750. 390 gears in the back. I mean, it was a fun car, man. Like, the car hauled ass, and I didn't even have nitrous on that car. That was which is really weird, because I ran nitrous on everything back then. But if I would have put nitrous on that, it would have really been a shit show. And it probably tore the rear end out first thing. I mean, it was a late 70s Corvette, independent rear suspension. I'm sure it would have twisted. I'm surprised it didn't twist the axles with just what it had. Daughter has a brand new Jeep. She's only put like 7 miles on it. My fear of her wrecking it. Yeah, and that's what's so funny, Dustin. Like, my daughter, the one that just wrecked her mom's car, calls me, because I've still not bought her first car, and it's a long story why I haven't. Like, I've got $1,000 set aside for each kid for their first car. So I bought my oldest daughter. I bought her first car. She's 23 now. I got $1,000 for each of the other kids set aside. And that's why my son's offered me like $1,280, because he's got like $280 saved up from where he mows the yard every week, and then he's got the $1,000 for his first car. So that's why he got on here a while ago, and he was like, "I'll give you $1,280 for that Camaro." But see, I still got to pay to fix it. Thanks, Dustin. $41.99 for 1,500 cc. Wow. I have no track within 3 hours. Yeah, and that's why people street race. Because they got no fucking tracks. Oh, no. Damn, nobody likes me enough to hit the thumbs up button, huh? Well, guys, I think it's 10:30 here. I think I'm going to get off here I know this is probably a pretty boring live feed, but I just wanted to get on here, answer some questions. I honestly thought there would be more questions than there were, because there was a lot of interest. I want to say before I go though, I want to say the names that some of you guys have been throwing out for the car are pretty funny. I like you guys might have noticed on the video, I actually pinned the comment where the guy said you should name it Caitlin and why he said that, and I thought that was hilarious. But I'm not gonna name it Caitlin just because I know it would probably cause a bunch of drama. it you know, a bunch of political drama. So we're not gonna name it Caitlin, but that was funny. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here, guys. I will be doing a video in a couple days. We're gonna load the Nova up. We're going to take it, get new exhaust put on it. So that will be a video. Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. I also want to say, if you haven't already, make sure you click the notification bell so you know when I'm doing live feeds or when I put out a new video. Because apparently the way YouTube operates now, even if you're subscribed, you still don't get notified unless you have that notification bell turned on. So I know some of you guys, and it's probably ironic because it's probably guys that aren't on here now because of this, but I know a lot of the time you guys will get on the Facebook page, the Bad Luck Garage group page, and you'll be like, damn man, I didn't know you had a live feed going on, or I would have got on there. Well, you got to turn the notification bell on, man. Just because you're subscribed doesn't mean YouTube's going to notify you. That's just